Today we're breaking down the Singapore Grand Prix, one of the most unique stops on the F1 calendar. And here's the thing, even though it's a street circuit with walls everywhere, it's actually one of the safest street circuits Formula 1 visits. Compared to places like Baku or Jeddah, Singapore in terms of track design gives drivers a lot more breathing room and it's much more forgiving. Let me walk you through why that is. I really like the modifications they've made during the recent years. Remember that narrow chicane at turn 10 that always looked so awkward? That's gone. And the stadium section towards the end of the lap, the one remembered for the crash gate in 2008 that made eventually Felipe Massa lose the World Championship, that's also gone. So now the track flows so much smoother, drivers get into a rhythm, and the whole race feels less like a stop and go. One of the clever things about Singapore is how they've used the city streets. Being a lot of corners on a 90-degree angle, there are plenty of extended runoff areas which are extensions of the street itself, making them perfect escape routes. That means if a driver misses the braking point or has a braking failure, they've got somewhere to go instead of just hitting the concrete wall. For a street circuit, that's a luxury. There's also this fun little detail. One of the city roads is used in two different parts of the circuit. It's turn 8 on the second sector and turn 14 on the third sector. Luckily, the only thing that overlap are the two escape routes. It's not as scary as Baku, where turn 19 is literally right next to turn 6 and 7 on a very high speed section with just two fences in between. And in Singapore, these turns are low speed anyway, so it's more quirky than dangerous. Now, there are a couple of blind high speed corners that can cause trouble. Turn 6 and turn 15. Drivers arrive fast, visibility is limited, and if there's a car stopped around the bend, they won't see it until the last second. A similar example from Hajar in Monaco in F2 from last year when everybody celebrated his reflexes, but I think he should have slowed down considering the marshals gave him not one, but two white flags, meaning slow car ahead. A simple fix could be something like the blinking arrow we see in Monaco pit exit. In fact, since the pit exit in Monaco is quite dangerous as the cars rejoin the track basically on the racing line, they added one extra light panel used exclusively to warn upcoming drivers to keep left as someone is exiting the pit lane and rejoining the race on the right. I think this is a smart solution that other tracks can start adopting in the case of blind high-speed corners like 6 and 15 in Singapore. In fact here, even though there already is a light panel well positioned at the entry of each corner, it would be even better to have two like in Monaco, using one exclusively for indicating to the drivers which side of the track they should stick to. And then we get to the fastest corner of the track, turn 18 and 19. Cars whip through there at serious speed, and we've seen some pretty big crashes in the past. Carlos Sainz in last year in Q3 in qualifying, and Lance Stroll as well in 2023. The good news is that the Tech Pro barriers have proven themselves again and again. They've taken some heavy hits here and done exactly what they're supposed to do: absorb the energy and keep the drivers safe. So this section, while it's at high risk and the runoff area is limited, it's also very well protected. Another big plus for Singapore is the experience. The race has been on the calendar for a very long time now, so the organizers and the marshals know the circuit inside out. And I love how they welcome marshals from abroad. It creates a really strong, experienced team, which makes a difference when you're dealing with incidents under pressure. One more thing I really appreciate: the light panels and the flag posts are very well positioned and visible for the drivers. In some points, they can actually see even two light panels simultaneously. Being a night race actually helps a lot with the visibility of the light panel, so when there's a caution or hazard on track, drivers can react quickly. So yeah, Singapore might look like chaos under the lights, but from a safety perspective, it's actually a very well thought out circuit. Plenty of escape routes, some smart modifications, solid barriers, wide track, experienced marshals, and excellent visibility with lights and flags. So overall, it's a track that challenges the drivers without pushing the safety over the edge. From my perspective as a marshal, that's what really stands out about Singapore. But do you still see dangers somewhere else along the streets of Singapore? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this little marshal's eye view, stick around because I'll be back with more track breakdowns soon.